everybody, it's Vanessa, the Crafty Gemini. Welcome to another episode of WIP Wednesday, a work in progress Wednesdays, where I'm usually working on some type of a project and chatting with you all right here on the Crafty Gemini YouTube channel. Go ahead and leave me a little message in the chat right now and let me know where you are tuning in from. So I am coming to you from North Central Florida, just north of Gainesville, from my home studio. I know we're giving it a second to make sure that everything is working fine. The audio's good. Can y'all see me and hear me good? Let's just double check real quick. Okay, sounds okay to me. What say you, Brandon? Can you hear me good? Okay, great. All right. Hi, Susie. Hi, Mary. All right. Hey, Lisa. Hey, Holly. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. I have a couple of announcements to make and a new little something to unveil here for y'all. So we'll be getting into that in a second. So let me just make sure I'm not missing anything here. Oh, awesome. Hi, Maite, tuning in from South Florida. A bunch of you are tuning in. Ohio, Kansas is in the house. Modesto, California. All right. So a quick announcement. Several weeks ago, maybe 3 or 4 weeks ago, we did a WIP Wednesday and we featured this product, Bozal Duet Fuse, which is a double-sided fusible batting. And for those of you that maybe missed it, or if you recall, I went ahead and used that fusible batting to create the front panel of these pillow covers that I made for my kids. My son chose this block and these fabrics, and my daughter chose this block and these fabrics. It's like I'm saying fabrics as in the backing fabrics, and then the borders that we attach to make them big enough to create these envelope pillow covers, okay? So, of course, we sold out. We had a huge order pending. Those of you that still were waiting on your orders, thank you so much for your patience and your support. We received the order and all your packages have been shipped out. So you should have received an automatic email notification. I'm gonna place these here with the tracking information if you did go ahead and order. And for those of you that maybe didn't get in on it, we do have them back in stock, okay? And we'll include a link in the chat box here for you. It's called Duet Fuse and you can find it in our online shop, craftygemini.com/shop. So I'm super happy we have them back in stock. 1, because we finally were able to complete your orders, and 2, because now I have more that I can use for future projects, which I love. All right, so that's that. Secondly, another announcement. The exclusive Crafty Gemini bullet notebook kind of journals that we had made for us are back in stock. If we can shoot to the other camera here, I'm going to show you a little bit of a close-up. If you missed out on the flash sale Friday bundle that included this notebook in it, we do have some, so we are currently selling them like individually on their own. You can see our logo here, our cows. This is Emma with her baby Coco, and then Applejacks and her baby Natty. We have a little spool of thread, some chickens, some banana plants here, and then on the back too. So I had this exclusive artwork created for us, and then the inside has about 44 pages, and they all have it's like how bullet journals are with the dots. So cute, cute, cute. I'm already almost through mine because I turned it into my little bullet journal for the latter half of the year. But if you want one of these, also we have them in stock in the online shop. Okay, so that's another announcement. Thirdly, if you missed out, let's go ahead, make sure I'm not missing any questions here. Carla's asking, is this my Westchester Dolman top? It is, Carla. This is a free PDF pattern that I offer in my online shop, and it includes a 7-part video series where I walk you through every single step from tracing the pattern. And this is a pattern I designed. It comes in a size women's small to a woman's size 3X. Okay, so yes, this is one of the Westchester Dolman top. What's going on?
It's all echoey.
Oh, the audio is?
Yeah, I can hear myself typing.
Oh, I hate when that happens. It's like sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. Let's see if we can get the audio situated. You want to re-plug that thing up? Like undo it and stick it back? I know you guys can hear me, but we're trying to get the audio to be a little bit clearer. The Westchester Dolman top. I hate when that happens. All right. Let me turn this down. All right, so next, last Friday, remember that we go live Wednesdays at 1 Eastern, and then we also go live on Friday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern. Last Friday, I did like a little bit of a poll to see which is the next garment sewing online course that you all would like to see from me. And so I went ahead and showed y'all 4 potential patterns. And so I want to do a poll here on Wednesdays also because I know not everybody can make the Friday ones, so that we can tally up your choices so that we can decide which is going to be my next paid for online course, okay? So can we go ahead and just show the, let's start with the jean. This pattern is for pajamas. And a lot of you, I would say from the Friday poll, most people chose this one. So if you see, you know that I'm in love with these Jolly patterns. This includes a top, long sleeve, and then the pants also, and they're long, like full length. So it includes 28 different sizes, and it's for kids and women, okay? So when it says kids, it's kind of cool because you can also make them for boys because it doesn't really have any like shaping that is just for adult women. And so this includes 28, I said 28 different sizes. And I actually have a sample here to show you all. I believe I got these samples from Jolly, and I believe that this feels like a double brush polyester spandex. So this is in the women's size DD, which ends up being, remember, because Jolly has their sizes done by letter size. So this is like a woman's size 20. So this is the top. And then the pajama pants, this feels like, it feels heavier than a double brushed poly. I didn't make these, so I'm trying to like, feels almost like an ITY knit, so it has a little bit more heft to it, but these are the matching size DD, so women's size 20 pants that go with the top there. So that would be an awesome class to do, right? Because fall, winter's coming around the corner. Those of you in colder climates probably will want to make something like this, and because you can make it for kids all the way up to a woman's size 24, it would make awesome gifts. And then you would also be learning how to make a top and the bottom, okay? So that's the jean. So keep an eye on these 4, and then you can let me know after I show you all 4. Leave me a comment and let me know which one you would probably sign up for, which one you'd want to see, right? The next one is the mimosa. Now, this is a t-shirt that has multiple different views. I'm just going to show you one sample here that we made for my daughter. And this is made out of a cotton spandex. It has like rolled little cute cuff sleeves, and then you can see the round hem. It's a little bit shorter on the front than it is on the back, so cute shape overall. And again, this one includes 28 different sizes, okay? So again, a little toddler size 2 to a woman's size 24, and that would be that one. So that's the mimosa. So far we have the pajamas. And you can just write pajamas if you don't remember the name of it. Comments below. Let me show you 2 more. The next one I have here is the Julia. So this is like an underwear set that includes like a bikini panty brief. Then it also has a high-waisted version. And then it also includes, what are they calling it? A racer back pull-on lined bralette with an under bust band, and then a little swing camisole too with a rounded v-neck. So a bunch of different kind of like nighttime clothes. Super cute. All right. And then I actually have a sample of this to show you as well, of just like the underwear brief, the high. Without the thing, just for the audio there. Okay. All right. Michelle's asking, are these pajama beginner friendly? I learned from you to make AP. I'm not sure what that means, but I would say these are going to be a good project for beginners, especially with my step-by-step video tutorials. And of course, if it's a paid-for course, there's going to be dozens of videos, everything I'm going to walk you through step-by-step, but it probably is one of the easiest ones. Okay. All right, so now, let's see. Christina says she voted before, but she still votes for the Julia. All right, the mimosa, I see some of you are already voting. So this is the kind of the high-waisted brief. You can see the pink here, the finishings on it is done with fold-over elastic. And then the actual underwear is made out of cotton spandex. So that's just a quick sample of that. Let's move on to the next one. This is the L. This is a reversible top. Again, covered 28 different sizes. And it has like a twist knot that you can wear either on the front or on the back. Some of you may have seen where I posted a picture of this on Facebook for my daughter before, one that I made for her. This one, I believe, is also the size DD. So this is the woman's size 20, and you can see that knot in the front. If you wear it on the front like that, it's a slight V-neck with the knot in the front. If you wear it the other way, then you just have like a slight scoop neck, and then the knot is like a little accent on the back. So it's really loose, airy. You can see that the shirt is almost sheer. So you could make this out of a really lightweight knit, maybe wear with a little tank top underneath. So that one is called the L. Now this one has an interesting construction because of that twist on the front, but it also only features either 2 or 3 pattern pieces. So there's 3 pattern pieces if you make it with a sleeve, like this added chunk here is the sleeve part of it. And then you can also make it with like short sleeve, but not super short, right? Like it still covers some because it's like a little dolman style of a sleeve built into it. And that would only require 2 different pattern pieces. So that one's gonna be a super quick and easy make as well. And I love the fact that it's reversible and that we can make it in a ton of different sizes, okay? So those are the 4 patterns. We have the L, which is that twist top that's reversible. The Mimosa, which is the one t-shirt with the high-low curved hem. We have the pajamas, which is the jean, and then the Julia, which was the underwear set. So let me know in the comments which one of those. You can even like number them in the order that you'd be interested in checking out a class for each one of those. That would be cool too. And then we will tally that up before we finally, make our decision and make the announcement of what the next online sewing course will be. Mary says, I'm not confident about sewing garments, so that way I can practice and learn and not wear it out and about. So that's true. You're probably speaking about the pajamas, huh? So if you make a mistake, because we're working, all these projects feature stretch fabrics, there's so much wiggle room in there, and it's hard to go, I think, from like a quilting mindset to one where we're using stretch fabrics, right? When we quilt, we're using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, so any little bit that you're off is going to throw off your patchwork and the finished quilt project, okay? Whereas, if you're a little bit off on a stretch knit fabric, even when we are using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, it stretches, right? So you have more room there to make little bobbles or make little mistakes, okay? So, all right, awesome. We're getting mimosa, we're getting pajamas and the twist top, the underwear, the pajamas, mimosa. Awesome. All right, so we will go through and tally these up later on, and then obviously when we decide what we're going to do next, we will make that announcement. Okay, so for the next announcement, let's go ahead and unveil the new sewing machine that I got. If you notice behind me, I'm missing machines here. We drove down to Mount Dora, Florida this weekend and dropped off my Juki TL 2010Q and then also my DX7. They hadn't been serviced in I don't know how long. So I dropped off the machines there so the guys could clean them up for me, tune them up, get them all ready to go for some more hardcore sewing, because I definitely run those machines through the ringer. I've had them for about 5 years or so, and I use them for everything. So those are getting serviced, and it seems like every time I go down there, I end up coming home with another machine. So this time, remember that last week I said that I probably should get another little Juki machine, because I love my Jukis, to put here so that when I'm doing these WIP Wednesdays or Flash Sale Fridays or whatever, I can have a smaller machine, since my bigger ones are kind of big to put on the table like this. So I ended up grabbing another Juki there. And this one I wanted to show you, it comes with a hard plastic cover, which is really rare for a budget and beginner-friendly machine, okay? So they do have some of these in stock right now. If you're looking for a travel machine, we're gonna put the link here for you so you can check it out too. I buy all my machines from So Many Things in Mount Dora, Florida. This is the Juki HZL LB5020. So it is a computerized machine. It's a pretty base model, but it feels super solid. I've just started using it. I was using it to piece together some of my little peak blocks for the 5-inch slicer project that we've been working on for the last couple weeks here. And I was just telling my husband, I was like, this thing is solid. It feels so like well made that I'm really gonna put it to the test before I do a video review. You all know that whenever I get a sewing machine, after I obviously use it and get familiarized with it, I like to create a video review. So I will be doing that for this and posting it on my YouTube channel. But I know some of you out there have already mentioned to me, especially because I shared a little sneak peek picture of it on Instagram. People were asking me, hey, is it good for travel? Is it lightweight? So this is the LB5020. Obviously, I'm not going to do a review today, but I just wanted to show you all so that you can see how it works. It is computerized, so it has a little screen here, and it has some little decorative stitches, buttonholes, zipper foot, like all the basic stuff that you would need, really. So I think from what I've used of it so far, it's a great beginner machine to get started with, but you still have room to grow. So installing zippers, making buttonholes, whether you want to make bags, quilts, garments, stuff like that, a little workhorse here. Okay, so I'm going to be working on this machine. I've loaded up some cotton thread, and I have some blocks here for you. Again, if you're interested in kind of finding out more about this machine, So Many Things has some in stock, and you can check them out at somanythings.com/shop. Okay? So let's go ahead and shoot for the other shot here so that I can show you all my blocks. I went ahead and pieced together all the blocks that I got from the one little stack that I made. or the one little stack of 5-inch squares that I had. Then I cut them all up, and for the past couple of weeks here on WIP Wednesday, we have been using my 5-inch slicer, which we do have in stock. We're still currently sold out of the 10-inch slicers, but we got word that they are working on them now. They finally got their hands on some of the acrylic. My rulers are made in the USA, so we are delayed and back ordered on the 10-inch slicers, but we do have these little guys in stock. It's a 5-inch slicer, and we have the link for you in the chat as well. So these are all the blocks I made. I went ahead and sorted them out by the color of the background pieces here. So you can see these are mostly white. They're kind of low volume, but mostly white background. This one has the ones that mostly have blue, the greens here, and the grays. So because I sorted them out by background color, I'm not too worried about which color I use for the center. You can see that this one almost looks like super white. I just used the squares that came in the stack, okay? And I believe I counted, and I think I have 30 full blocks. Now, this is probably not going to be enough to create a little quilt, but I do want to start kind of playing around and arranging them here so that if I do decide on what the design layout I want, maybe we can start piecing some of these together. Let me grab my phone. Where did I put it? Here it is. See if there's any questions real quick for me. All right. Oh, Carla's asking if the machine has a triple stretch stitch. I think you're saying triple straight stitch, and it looks like it has it right here, 04. That's usually what the icon looks like, Carla. I haven't started stitching it all out, but it does look like it has it. And I'll show you here since I forgot that we're on this camera here. So right here, the one where it shows you like 3 lines up and down, right, across the board, that's usually what the icon for the triple straight stitch looks like. And so that's what that has, as well as buttonholes and some decorative stitches here. Okay. All right. Oh, hey, that guy from Texas. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it. All right. Okay, we're still getting some votes for the different patterns. Jackie says, please, or Patricia says, please say the model number again slowly. It's the LB5020. And we can put it up on the screen for you too so you all can see where they have it and see what it looks like on the So Many Things website there for me. All right. So I'm going to start to lay these out. Now, when we use pre-cut stacks, right, because I didn't cut the 5-inch square pieces of fabric by myself, I don't really know exactly what the balance is going to be of all the different colors, okay? Meaning, it looks like I have even stacks here. Maybe the white ones are a little bit less. So you're going to have to start playing around with the blocks that you've made to see, you know, where you want to switch things out if you don't have enough of one or too many of another color. So let's start playing around with some of these. And I still don't know if I'm going to put them like all facing up, some facing down. But you can see that they're not going to cover that much space, right? Because the blocks are so little. So obviously these two, I don't want to have them there. And you can play around with it. If you did want to go more monochromatic or more matchy-matchy, you could. These all have the same 3 in the middle. And whenever I work on these scrappy type projects, just to kind of show you how I mentally, you know, kind of think of these things. Let me see. It takes a lot of swapping back and forth. Gray on gray. Let's move this one. Okay, and I think I'm just going to line them up like that so that all the peaks are oriented pointing up. But remember that I've shown examples before where you can make them like this so that the flat part is touching on 2 blocks, one on top of the other, and then that ends up making kind of a diamond shape like this. I'll show you better on this one. I think you can see it because the colors are the same. So you can play around with the way that you orient these blocks. So here. Ooh, let's incorporate more blues. And this is just how I do it. You don't really have to overthink it too much. And remember I said early on, if you've been tuning in every week, you know, we've been talking about this, how like it's not going to be big enough to finish a whole quilt, but I may just do like really thick borders around it to give it more size. And so I'm incorporating both kind of solid backgrounds, thicker borders to create the full size that I will end up wanting, which I'm not sure of yet. But then also some patchwork pieces. And this is a quick and easy way to use up 1 stack of 5-inch squares, okay? Now, it might look like a lot when you start putting it like this, but remember, every time we sew these guys together, we're gonna be eating up another 1/2 inch, right? 1/4 inch and 1/4 inch seam allowance on each block. So this is gonna shrink down significantly. But I'm just kind of doing like this. And you can see that it's going to be a little bit monochrome for sure, because they're all so light in color. Some of these really read like white on white to me. But so what I'm going to have to end up working with here is basically what happens when you use a pre-cut stack that you've already bought like pre-done for you and purchased, right? You have to work with whatever comes in it. You can, of course, incorporate fabrics and blocks that you make from fabrics in your stash. But if you are using just fabrics from your stash, then you'll have a lot more options, because you can say, okay, I don't like this to be white background and white here. It's too light. You know, you can create something that has a little bit more contrast using your own scrap fabrics. Whereas for me, it's not that serious. So I'm just gonna tweak some of these guys around. But this is looking super cute already. Is anybody else out there working on a baby quilt? Let me see. It looks like a pretty decent balance of greens and blues. The grays and whites are so pale that they kind of blend all together. All right, let's see. All right. Maureen says she can't see my layout. I'm assuming she can see it now. I hope so. All right. Okay, so let's see. Too much green here. I may even end up, because remember this is going to shrink significantly after it gets pieced together, I may even end up doing 6 blocks across instead of 5. That looks okay. Here. Something like that. And of course I will put this up on my design wall and probably take a picture with my cell phone. It makes it a lot easier when you have it up on the wall to kind of
see the bottom. Maybe they need to zoom out some.
But
they can't see the full thing. It's gonna chop off.
That's okay. But you can kind of see most of it. That's all right. That's good enough. So I will probably put this up on my design wall though, you know, so I can stand back and look, because even looking at it like this, it's hard to decide, like, okay, do I want these two right here that have blue side by side, even though this has a little bit darker blue? And then I just play a swapping game, keep swapping, spend maybe 15, 20 minutes just swapping the blocks around, and then take a couple pictures with my phone and decide which layout I like the best. It's easier to see it on the phone when you take a picture from further up. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have 30. I ended up with 32 blocks. So you can see that I'll either have 2 extra that I need to set aside, or I'll need to tweak the rows so that I can get this to be even, okay? But I think that looks pretty good. These two are 2 white side by side. Let's see. Let's go this. I'll swap this blue. And this is just, I mean, this is literally exactly how I do it when I'm, especially with something like this where you just have a ton of the different blocks and scrappy fabrics. Just play around with it and, you know, figure out where you want to put what. This one, these two are caddy corner and the same fabric. We'll swap that. And that looks pretty good. I kind of like that, the way that that turned out there. So how cute is this? If I added borders that were either just white or gray, it would go really, really nicely, like with the overall design. It'll look kind of like really pale and pastel. If I wanted a more pop of color, I can do borders in like a brighter green or a brighter blue or aqua to kind of make the borders pop, and this to kind of be more subdued in the background of the quilt design. So like whatever I do after I piece this together is really going to either, you know, play down the colors and the design of the quilt or really make it sing. So this is super fun. It's an easy way, I think, to design your own quilts without having to be sketching out a ton of stuff, right? So I made all these blocks with a 5-inch slicer. It was called the Peak block, and I have a step-by-step video tutorial on how you can make this either from pre-cut 5-inch squares, you know, these little stacks that we get. A lot of us, if you're a quilter, you probably have a ton of these stacks. And so you can see that the 5-inch square stacks don't bring that much, right? It depends by manufacturer also, but this is 1 full stack. And then of course I'm gonna add some borders to it to make it bigger into a baby quilt. But these would make great, you know, even just something like this to make a couple placemats, some mug rugs, things like that would be great. Lysandra says it looks good for a boy or a girl. Absolutely. This is so cute. And the colors don't, you know, they don't go one way or the other. It doesn't really matter. All right, let's see. Christina says taking a pic is a great tip. Absolutely. Because it allows you to see it from further away and it will pop out. Like if you have 2 that are identical side by side, when you see it from further away on your phone, you'll be like, oh yeah, those 2 right there need to be changed. And then you can swap them out. okay? And when you do them like this, don't kind of overthink it, because sometimes, like for here, for example, these two triangles are the same color. I'm not gonna go crazy trying to flip them around because they have two different background fabric pieces there, or fabric colors. I think it's fine, you know? Because you can kind of see green everywhere here. You can kind of see blue everywhere. You see the same four colors repeated over and over again, and you don't really have to overthink it. Nobody's gonna know and say, hey, after the quilt is done, like I would have totally flipped one of these or moved this somewhere else. Nobody's gonna care, right? They all blend, all the things, because they're pre-cut, come from a collection, so they all blend together. And is asking, would it appear odd if some of the blocks were flipped so the peaks point down? You could do that too, and you can make it more asymmetrical and kind of make it a little bit more geometric and just flip some of them. You can even go flipping every other across every row. These are all different ways that you can create multiple looking designs and layouts using the exact same blocks, okay? This is what back in the day I would have called a solo block quilt. I used to design a lot of quilts like that because I was able to make the exact same block a bunch of times and then piece them together, but based on how I rotated each block, I would get secondary and different designs and design layouts before I chose which one I wanted so that I can piece everything together, okay? All right, so let's shoot to this camera now. And I'm gonna get busy on this. I think I may put it up on my design wall once I get off of here to kind of finalize and give it the last little tweak that I want. But I'll definitely have more to show you all next week when we meet up for WIP Wednesday again. I know it's taken quite a while, but this is how we work on quilts, right? A little bit at a time. I do enjoy these live chats with you because it also makes me work on a project that's not necessarily work related, right? So this is gonna be a super cute gift. I will definitely have the top pieced next week. And leave me a comment below and let me know what you think I'm gonna do with it as far as the border colors. I'm gonna be excited to kind of go through my stash and see what I wanna pull. But of course, I kind of let the project speak to me step by step. So after I finalize this layout, then I'll piece it. And then after I piece it is when I'll start looking at what fabrics I want to use for the border. So I try not to get ahead of myself and start visualizing it already. I want to see it. When it's all pieced, it's going to look slightly different. It's going to be slightly smaller because of the seam allowances. And then I'll start to audition different fabrics on it, right? If this was for me or for one of my kids, I probably would like pull out a hot pink or something wild, because that's just how I do. But because it's a gift, I'm going to try and stay with the whole vibe of the fabrics that I chose already to work on these blocks with. Those of you that have ordered your 5-inch slicers, we do have them in stock, so we have been shipping those out around the clock, no problems. If you still need to get your hands on one, whether you have pre-cut 5-inch squares of fabric that you purchase in these stacks like this, or if you're cutting your own from your stash, you can use the 5-inch slicer, okay? So we'll put the link in the chat box for you, so these are always in stock in our online shop. And I'm gonna get back to work on this and see if I mess with it a little, because remember I said there's 30 there, but I have 2 more here. So I'm not sure if I'm gonna kind of put some together and make it a longer panel of the blocks or leave it as it is. So we'll see. I guess you guys will find out next Wednesday. But I'm going to go ahead and call it quits for now so that I can get busy sewing and working on this project. Remember that I will be back on Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern right here on the Crafty Gemini YouTube channel for Flash Sale Friday. And this Friday, we will be having a flash sale. So hopefully you can make it and you will tune in. If you're not yet subscribed to my email newsletter, make sure you head over to craftygemini.com. Click on the email sign up. That is the best way to find out when these live chats are, when we're running sales, when we have new bundles for you, when we offer new courses. All that information, we always send it out via email newsletter, okay? So then aside from that, just find me on social media. If you're new to my channel, you can find me on Facebook under Crafty Gemini and on Instagram under Crafty Gemini as well. Let me make sure I don't have any last minute questions here. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you, Maureen. She says, I love our time together. Thank you. Hopefully this was, gave y'all a little bit of like behind the scenes or like how I think of things as I'm going through. Like I said, don't overthink it. And working with a pre-cut stack is a great way because just trust that the designer and the manufacturing company put together fabric prints that go together. So really think about it this way. No matter how you orient these blocks, whether some are up, some are down, every 2 rows are facing each other, however you want to do it, it's going to look good. No doubt about it. The fabrics will match, okay? They will blend and you'll be doing a great job. So if you're a beginner quilter, grab yourself a 5-inch slicer and some 5-inch squares, and this is going to be a great beginner project for you. All right, thank you, everybody. I see a bunch of you say you're going to be tuning in on Friday, so I will see you all there, and have a great rest of your week.